Hi everyone, welcome to Dharma Earth's Dose of Dharma, and this is your Dose of Dharma for today. From now on, we will talk about random questions that people ask and talk about random topics, okay? So there's one question. It says, Bhante, the Buddha taught us to be kind and to have loving kindness for everyone. But what if people take advantage of our kindness? What if somebody bullies us in the workplace? Then how should we report to our supervisors? Because they say that we should love them, right? So if we report to our supervisors, definitely they may be blamed, they may be penalized, and then after that they may start to take revenge and all that, and it makes everything very complicated. So Bhante, what should we do? So in this case, it's actually on how we're gonna live out loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, the 4 Brahma Viharas. And also, how do we work? What are our considerations, whether we should or should not report? Okay. So first thing first, whenever we meet up with these kind of things, and we will meet up with these kind of things, is part of samsara. Part of the package. Welcome to samsara. First thing that we have to develop is compassion for ourselves and compassion for the other party, because you are encountering all the injustice and all the unfairness that you are being treated with. Then definitely because of them doing this to you, then they are actually planting the seed. Planting what seed? Planting the karma seed for themselves to be bullied in the future. So whatever that you are experiencing, they will experience it to a certain degree in the future. Right? So, and they're so happy about it, They're happy that they're creating causes of suffering. Wow, well done, right? So, actually, when we contemplate like this, it gives us a lot of softness in the mind, to have compassion for them. It's like they are drinking poison and they are very happy that they are drinking poison, which will poison them in the future. So when we think like this, we can arise compassion for them. We can arise compassion for ourselves, because there is no, because of the law of cause and effect, there is no causeless effect. So definitely there will be a cause or causes for this effect, this phenomenon that is happening to you now. Maybe we have bullied others in the past. Yeah, so that's why when we contemplate like this, it helps us to be able to accept this undesirable and uncomfortable phenomenon and arise compassion for ourselves and for the other part. Sometimes I also like to suggest some people to contemplate and send compassion in this way, so that let those who hurt and those who are being hurt be free from suffering and committing causes of suffering. The causes of suffering means greed, hatred, and delusion, and whatever unwholesomeness. Okay, like that. So this is one way. So after we have purified our mind and make sure our mind is in a compassion state or in a wholesome state, then we ask ourselves whether we should report or not to report. Actually, there's no definite answer for this, But what are the things that we have to consider whether we report or not to report? First is the cause and effect. Okay? We have to apply cause and effect, even at the grosser level, as a consideration. We are considering whether to report or not to report. Okay, so very easy. You just contemplate that. If we report this, will they stop them, or will they get even more arrogant and get even more triggered, and there will be no end to all these kinds of unwholesome deeds, like that. And so with compassion as the cause, with compassion as the intention, then we can decide, in terms of cause and effect, and wholesome and unwholesomeness. When I report, is it gonna arise more wholesomeness or unwholesomeness? Like that. And if I don't report, am I gonna get more wholesomeness and unwholesomeness? We also contemplate about wholesomeness and unwholesomeness as one of the very important factors to consider. Like that, huh? And so there's no fixed way. So the considerations are cause and effect. We need to put in right causes, which is a non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. And also to consider whether it will make them arise more unwholesomeness or unwholesomeness, and for us, wholesomeness and unwholesomeness. And also to make things, and one principle also to consider is making things better or at least not make it worse, right? So some examples: if you report and they become more and more arrogant and all that, then, and it doesn't solve the problem, alright? Then, then we have to consider, okay, in this kind of a situation, is there a possibility that I can try to understand why they are behaving in this way? Wait for ask from some people around him or her, and then just ask, just try to understand. Maybe they have had a bad childhood. Maybe they have had a terrible experience when they first came into this line, So we can try to understand, what is the cause of the problem. When we know the cause of the problem, then maybe we can, without reporting them, work on helping them to solve the cause of the problem, like that. But sometimes, if they really need some people to remind them that what they do is wrong, then maybe we can report it. After reporting, then maybe they may stop their unwholesome ways, and it is possible too. Like that. So there's no fixed way, but we follow the principles. Okay. Then you may say, oh, one day, then how if I report and he gets worse and worse? Then you really have to see, work out something with your fellow colleagues or maybe your boss, to see what you can do. In reality, they are not obliged to help you, right? Yes, they're your colleague. Yes, they're your boss. But in a way, they may not be obliged to help you, right? According to their understanding. So then we have to consider, okay, for this job, whether is it necessary for me to keep this job, and if it is, then okay, then at least we try to react with a positive reaction, and don't let their bullying be the source of our happiness. That means don't let it affect our happiness. And sometimes we can keep a record of our work and send to your supervisor or your boss, like that. And just try to, when we consider the whole situation, try to make things better or at least not make it worse, like that. And if really, the whole situation comes down to a very, very toxic environment, and he's bullying you, and there's nobody to help you, and all that, then you have to consider whether you really want to keep this job or not. Because ultimately, if you're working in such a toxic workplace, then it may not be healthy for you in the long run. Alright? So like this. But if your livelihood depends on this, then we can find ways and means wholesome ways and means to deal with it. For example, the Buddha, during the Bodhisattva times, even when people are coming here to take over his kingdom, So because of compassion for his people, so he just say, if they want my kingdom, okay, let them take it. And sometimes the invaders, they are converted by the Bodhisattva's compassion and loving kindness. And then they return the kingdom to the Bodhisattva. And then after that, they even help to protect the kingdom of the Bodhisattva, because they know that this is a righteous king. Like that. So sometimes also we may be able to move them with our virtue and the value that we bring to the workplace also. So this is also one way. But there are some instances where the Bodhisattva actually died because of upholding the Dhamma principle. As disciples of the Buddha, this is one thing that we have to practice if we really want to be wholesome people. That is, if I die, if I lose my job, abiding this Dhamma principle, then okay, so be it, like that. So we cannot be afraid of sacrifices like that. But of course, if really you're stuck in the job and you don't have a place to go and it's really stressful and all that, then at least we learn how to manage our stress, our mental distress when we have to face them. Because life is like that. It's not like we always will not meet with problems. Life has its own sets of problems. People also have their own sets of problems. So when we meet with life and people, sometimes there will be problems. And we will have our own problems too. So that's why the practice of loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity is pretty helpful for when we meet up with these kinds of things like that. So, and also if if this job is really toxic, then and you cannot go to another, there's no other job outside, then at least try to improve on ourselves. Try to take up some part-time courses. There are many online courses now. Take up some part-time courses, and then after that, make more friends. Sometimes practice generosity, and not only to the people that you like in the workplace, but also to the people you don't like in the workplace. But of course, you will see, if you offer them, if you buy them a cup of tea and they take advantage of you and all that, then not necessary to buy for them next time, because you know that it's going to incite a negative response from them. Yeah. But if sometimes actually generosity will help to change a person's and feelings of animosity and enmity towards us also. So generosity can also be practiced here in this case. But of course, we will have to see whether they are worthy or not of that generosity. If they react in a bad way, that means they're not really be worthy of that generosity. Okay, so few things to summarize: compassion for ourselves and the other party, then with cause and effect, wholesome and unwholesome, and making things better or at least not making things worse. These three principles as our guiding principles. Then we can see and calculate and analyze the situation, whether to do or not to do, to report or not to report later or report now, or there are some other ways which we might be able to do in order to relate to this kind of phenomena. Then hopefully everyone will also be able to solve this kind of phenomena. Okay. And one more thing is, because of maybe we have bullied others in the past, so we are bullied now, then sometimes we can go and volunteer in some working groups where it deals with workplace bullying, and try to be a volunteer there, maybe help out some things, help out some of the administrations and all that, and get to know more people there. And actually when you provide help to people who have been bullied, then, these kinds of like also help us to create the karma to not be bullied in the future also. When we help others to avoid bullying or to be able to face bullying with a positive mind, not let it stress them out. Yeah, then this in a way is a helpful karma also. So in this way, we are using karma to help us get through this kind of phenomenon. Alright? Hopefully the sharing today is beneficial to all of you. And I wish all of you to be well, peaceful and happy, and may the Triple Gem bless all of us to be able to attain path, fruition and nibbana as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.